You clean, and somehow the mess still comes back. You think about decluttering, and you're overwhelmed. The problem might not be how much stuff you have. The problem might be that your home isn't set up to function for you and your family.
Are you a mom who dreams of that homestead life you see on Instagram? Who feels called to Christian homemaking? You feel like you'd need an extra 12 hours in your day, along with another set of hands, just to make your home work the way you know it could. Welcome to Simply Living Homestead. I'm Amanda Carlin, wife, mama, homemaker, and milkmaid. I've learned the secret to simplifying my time and homestead so my homemaking supports my family instead of exhausting me, and it makes room for the moments that truly matter. If you're ready to get time back in your day, manage your home with confidence, grow in your homesteading skills, and train your children in the way they should go, grab your pitchfork and planner, friend. Let's get to work. Are you getting Simply Living Homestead's emails in your inbox? Each week, we share encouragement and tips to help you run your homestead smoothly. You'll also be the first to hear about upcoming offers and maybe even see some photos of our baby animals in our farm newsletters. Go to simplylivinghomestead.com/newsletter to get signed up, or click the link in the description box below.
Welcome back to the homestead. Today we are talking about decluttering, not in the overwhelming minimalist way that you often see online. I want to show you a simple 3-step framework: use, store, reset, so your home actually works for your family. This is the method that I use when I am considering whether an object needs to stay in our home or if it should leave. We moved into our family's farmhouse about a year and a half ago. And it was the home that I was raised in. And then we lived next door to our parents my parents while they were there. And then the time came that we moved into the farmhouse. And it became very obvious very quickly that the spaces that we set up when we moved in wasn't actually serving us. And it was really difficult to keep the house clean. Trying to organize without asking how the space was supposed to function is kind of an exercise in futility. It's important to realize that sometimes it isn't that there's too much stuff. It's that there is misplaced systems. Now, there absolutely can be too much stuff. Discovering that when items have a clear purpose, a home, and a reset path, the whole house felt calmer. It's possible that there is too much stuff. But when you follow this method, you will very quickly realize what is in that it needs to go category and what things just need a better home. So we are going to shift from just simply organizing and just simply cleaning to designing function into our space so that it is easy to reset, and by such it's easy to keep the house clean. So what is this method? It's 3 steps that I use, 3 overarching categories that I look at when looking at whether an object needs to have a home in our home, if it needs to have a place that it goes back to. The first question that I ask is use. Does this item actually serve the task that it was meant for? Do I reach for this item when I do the task? Is there another item that already does the job better? Some form of this question. How recently have I used the item? Or did I forget that it even existed? If it's not used, it's friction. It needs to either A, go to where it will be used, or B, it needs to leave. And at this point, this is where you decide whether an object stays or goes. It's that simple. This is the time. Do I use this item? Does it get used? Yes? Okay, it needs to stay, and we need to find a home for it. We can also ask that question of, is there another item that does the job better? For example, I have a drawer that I wish was organized better. And when I open it, one of the items that often pop up is I have 2 can openers. Now, I actually liked both of these can openers. They looked very different. And I actually had a preference between them, but they both did the job. Well, recently I tried to open a can that probably was not designed to be opened with these can openers, and I broke one of them. but I didn't break it in a snapping way. It just doesn't cut like it's supposed to anymore. But I didn't throw it away. So now when I open it up, I have to avoid that item. There is now another can opener that does the job so much better. And so if I'm looking at that drawer, that first can opener that is basically broken, it needs to leave because it is taking up space that maybe I do want to replace it. Maybe I do want to get another can opener like that one. That one was my favorite one. But I can't do that until I've made space for it. And the home that it's currently occupying could be better suited to something else. So when I'm looking at that item now, do I use it? No, I don't, because it's broken. It's not serving my family. So the first thing we want to do when we're looking at a space, trying to decide what stays, is we're going to ask, what is the use for this? Is it being used? So I'll run through the 4 questions that I had listed. You don't have to ask all 4 of these questions, but this is kind of like, what is the use of this item, right? Does this item actually serve the task it was meant for? Do I reach for this item when I do the task? Is there another item that already does the job better? Have I used it recently, or did I forget it even existed? If it's not used, it's friction and it needs to go. If it is used, it needs to move on to the next step, which is store. Where does this item actually belong? Where does it actually belong? Or rather, where does it get used, right? Is this item stored where it is used? So if I was to put my can openers in the pantry, that's probably not a good place for me to put my can openers. Maybe it is for you, but it is not for me because I don't open my cans in the pantry. Yes, the cans are being stored there, but that's not where I use it. I use it out in the kitchen area itself where I'm prepping. It goes in my prepping space. That's where the item is being used. So when we are looking at the storing of an item, is this item stored where it's used? Can I find it easily when I need it? Does this item have a clear, identifiable home? Can others identify the home? And is the container holding it realistic for the space? If it doesn't have a home, it becomes clutter, and it's often the things that we are picking up on a regular basis to try and put away, especially when our home is messy to begin with. Like when it feels cluttered and it's messy, oftentimes what we're dealing with is used items that don't have a home. It doesn't have a place that we're storing it. So when we are looking at a space, we're going to take into account some of the things that we've talked about in previous episodes, such as organizing styles, visual, not visual, micro and macro, which the easier words for that is simple and detailed. Like, is it visual? Is it hidden? Is it simple? Is it detailed? How are we organizing? What's our family style? I have other episodes on that. You can go listen to those. But after we've kind of considered that, we know generally how we want to organize the space, then we need to figure out where these items are going to go inside this space. Like, where is its home? And can I find it easily when I need it? Do I know where to go look for it? A lot of times you'll hear people say, well, put it in if you've been looking for an item and you finally find it, its home should be in the place where you looked for it first. And I think that's pretty much true. Like, where are you going to go and look for it? And then we need to make sure that the container that's holding it is realistic for the space that it's in. So is it in a basket? Is it in a cubby hole? Is it in a drawer? Is this space able to be reset in its own? Or are we overfilling that space? If we're overfilling the space, then we need to go back through that box and see what needs to either find a new home somewhere else in the house, or it needs to leave the home, so that the space is easy enough to like find things in and reset, that you're not jamming things in. For example, a clothing drawer, if you get too many pieces of clothing in that, and then you try and smash it all down in, and you're having to push it down in to shut the drawer, how likely are you to open that? Because you don't want to open it and expose the jack in the box that's gonna be your clothes. And I know this because I did that. But my drawers open so much better now when I've pared down, and I have removed and let some things go so that my space, the items inside that space, fits that space. Hopefully that makes sense. The third step is resetting it. So when you are considering your item, you have step 1, decided if it's being used or not, and you've taken it to where it's being used. Okay, so we've used it, we're saying use, and then we're saying store. Now we got to consider how it's being reset. So how are you going to organize this space so that it can be reset quickly? Can your family return this item? Can they find the item? And is the storage system simple enough that a child can use it? Can your kids put it away? If they can't, it's going to be really easy for that space to fall apart, because if it can't be reset easily, it will simply fall apart. If you're the only person who can put things away in a realistic manner, it's going to fall apart, because much like we talked about last week, where we have that mental load of trying to take care of those things, if we are the only ones doing that job, it's going to be like very difficult to keep up on all of these things, because you have set your home up intentionally or unintentionally. You've set your home up in a way that only you can use it. And we need to set it up in a way where our family can also reset these items quickly. So spending a little bit of time thinking about your items. Now our last section here, just really quickly, is to talk about how to actually go about decluttering. You don't want to really do a whole room. Realistically, you want to take them in small enough bites that you can kind of get that whole space that you've designated done in the amount of time that you have. So if you only have 15 minutes, one drawer. Don't go any more than that. Don't do the whole cupboard. Don't do the whole corner. Don't do the whole wall or the whole section of the room. One drawer. If you've got a little bit more time, maybe you can pick the cupboard or the dresser, like the whole area. But you want to be taking this in small enough bites that if you need to walk away, it would be really easy to just shove everything back in and go, nope, I'm going to deal with it again later. And by that, if you do a little bit every single day, or at least every single week, you will get back on top of your things, and you will reset your home to this capacity where not only you can reset it, but your family can. And then it'll be easier to implement your evening routines and your evening resets, your daily tidy resets throughout the day, so that you can reclaim your home and you can actually know where your things are and find them when you need them. You don't have to become a minimalist. You just don't have to declutter the entire house today. In fact, I don't think you should. You need to start with one hotspot. So today's action item is to choose one hotspot in your home, one small area. It could be a drawer. It could be a section of a drawer if you need to go that small, just something. And then you're going to ask the 3 questions. Use. Do we actually use this? Store. Does it have a real home? And reset. Can we easily return it to its home? Now, I'd encourage you to remove some items that don't meet these criterias and reorganize the space that you picked so it does. So the items that live there, that's their home, and that's where they return to at the end of the day. And that's where you will find them when you need them. If you'd like to share in the community your your space. Share your space. Share a before and an after. Tell us about an item that you are keeping using the use, store, reset method. Come share it with us. We'll cheer you on. If you're struggling, we can offer some encouragement or maybe help you make a decision on where something should go in your home if you're like really struggling with that. Decluttering isn't about getting rid of everything. In fact, I don't think that you should. It's about helping your home function well for your family. Remember, use, store, reset. Start small and watch the calm begin to grow in your home. Remember to join the email list for more practical homemaking and homesteading systems. And if you want to dig deeper into simplifying your home and homestead, check out my mentorship program. The links are in the description below. Until next time, friend, I hope you have a fabulous week. Hey neighbor, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share this episode with a friend who is knee-deep in their own homestead? Also, please leave me a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. It thrills me to know that this podcast is helping you. Keep watching those sunsets, friend. I'll meet you back here on the homestead soon for another episode. See ya!